Amusement parks. A great place to take your families to and enjoy the rides they offer you and eat lots of junk food and puke endlessly to death. But sometimes things can go wrong, where sometimes if rides are left unchecked or no safety or not maintained, things can go very, very wrong. Like the incident where people had to get evacuated because of toxic gas. A boy fell off a 400 feet drop tower to his death. And a park so dangerous that it had to be closed eventually. So yeah, subscribe and let's see which is the most dangerous amusement park in history. Minnesota's Valley Fair Water Park. A great place for families to splash around at, try out all sorts of slides, barefoot beaches. Wait, is that motherfucking chlorine in the pool? Oh shit! One day, a chlorine incident happened where there was this toxic gas out in the fucking air in the pool happening, leading to toxic gas in the air. Now this gas can cause you
bronchitis,
shortness of breath, possible permanent damage, and tooth corrosion, and causing diseases to the lung. People had to be evacuated for 20 minutes because of this shit, leading to 26 people to go to the hospital. Thankfully, when the safety peeps arrived, they did not find any leak at all or anything anywhere. Thankfully, they checked and found that the chlorine levels to be normal again. Apparently, they say the reason why the chlorine levels went high was because of a brief increase in odor, because the chemical hasn't been thoughtfully mixed in yet or something like that. I don't freaking know. God, chlorine can fucking die. After that, the park was opened again, and yay. The Orlando Freefall Incident. Icon Park is a popular park in Florida, with all sorts of unique attractions to pick from, such as a Ferris wheel that can take you to 400 feet in the air, more large than the fucking Colossal Titan, Jesus Christ. And there's this ride, the Orlando Freefall, the biggest one in the world in fact, being able to lift you 430 feet in the air and drop you down fast as fuck. But sadly, on March 24th, 2022, a 14-year-old boy named Tyre Sampson decided to go all out with his friends and ride on the Orlando Freefall. But there was a problem. When Tyre Sampson got on the seat, it did not fit him right at all. Even his friends were worried. But sadly, during the ride, when they were going up and down, the seat opened up, sending Tyre Sampson 200 feet down to his death. The last words he said to his friends were they loved his mom and dad. Tyre Sampson fell on the ground and there was blood everywhere, and the ride had to be stopped, and they called 911. But as soon as the emergency team arrived, Tyre was sadly passed away. Tyre's mom rightfully sued them for not giving a shit about Tyre's safety. Like, do you see this? You're telling me he's safe in that seat? Even though it looks like it break off and he could fucking die, which did happen. God, these workers are fucking dumbasses, I swear. Fuck the people that did not give a shit. Rest in peace, Tyre Sampson. Sucks the ride they get taken down because it's cool, but I guess it's for the best, I guess. The drains at Sun Valley Beach. Sun Valley Beach was a glorious place to go to relax and swim around in the pools. But sometime in May 2008, Ifeanyi Odesse went to a school event with his father and his sister, where they got to splash around in the waters at Sun Valley Beach. But sadly, Ifeanyi Odesse was found dead in the waters in the pool. He was 16 when he passed away. The whole park got sued for $250,000 for what happened, and for parents to not go through the same thing that would happen to their son again. But later, the charges were left go because it was not the park's fault what happened to him. He just sadly died on his own accord, couldn't do anything about it. But thankfully, the park did later on made it where things were much safer in the pool, such as a clarity watering system, so that's good. Rest in peace, my dude. The Dreamworld Raft Incident. Dreamworld was his magical theme park, like all the rest of them, but sadly, things would go downhill on their Thunder River Rapids ride. In 2016, 4 adults and 3 children on the ride, going down the river and having fun, but there was a problem. Towards the end of the ride, a pump malfunction caused water levels to drop. This led to the occupied raft colliding with an empty one that had drifted loose of its moorings or whatever. When the two rafts met face to face, they collided instantly, killing all the adults in there, but the children luckily survived. O'Connor's injury later on found there were unfavorable errors with the safety at the park. There were 3 charges against the parent company of the park, Ardent Leisure. After getting sued, Ardent Leisure felt deepest sympathies to the victims' loved ones. Nah, fuck you, scumbag. After that, the park closed for 6 weeks after the accident, and the Thunder River Rapids ride was demolished, thankfully. The Battersea Park Fun Fair disaster. One day, a park called Battersea Park was opened in summer of the 1800s. Later on in 1951, they created a roller coaster called the Big Dipper. It was a great roller coaster for families and kids, of course, duh. But sadly, 20 years later in 1972, it's when danger struck. A train, being hosted up to a start of a ride, broke loose from its fucking hooligan rope. The emergency wall brake failed, causing the carriages to roll backwards towards the station. Despite the efforts of the brakeman, the train gathered speed and the back carriage jumped the rails and crashed through a barrier with the other 2 carriages, crashing on top of it, causing 5 children to die, while 13 others to be injured. After this tragedy, the roller coaster was closed and dismantled for good. With the fun fair's lack of main attraction, its use soon declined, leading it to its closure in 1974. Years later, the survivors visited the place for memories. They came to this place where it all happened, but there was no sign of anything there where the event took place at all. No memorial for the dead kids, no sign of the history of the park even being there. It was like it never existed. What the fuck? It's kind of fucked up. Thankfully, they might have a memorial tree there now, so that's good to know. Now the park you all been waiting for. Action Park. Of course you knew it was coming. Let's now talk about it. Oh yes, Action Park. Oh yes, a great place to take your kids to. Taking their kids to a wave pool that gives them a high chance of drowning, to a motherfucking loop slide, or if you get stuck in there, you have to climb out through this top lid thing. That's totally great. And yes, taking them on a boat ride where they can fall underwater and get electrocuted to death. Yay. Oh god, Action Park is such a fucking daredevil. Ooh. Ever since this place has opened from 1978 to 1996, there were lots of injuries and 6 deaths. Either 3 drowning in the wave pool to old man freezing to death once he jumped into the pool, or someone falling over to get electrocuted to death. And people getting scars, bruises, broken bones, and more, like Jesus Christ. After all these injuries and deaths, the park finally got shut down for good in 1996, after the lawsuits suing the park for how dangerous it rightfully so is. Even though the park looked cool and fun, but I guess it's for the best. It's known as the most dangerous amusement park in history. So great for you, Action Park.
Go to hell and tell the devil I'm coming for him next!
The Haunted Castle Fire at Great Adventure. Six Flags is an amusement park, plenty of injuries and deaths. But the event in 1984 takes the cake as the most tragic amusement park tragedy in history. The Haunted Castle from Great Adventure Six Flags. Haunted Castle was a rock-through attraction with all sorts of spooky things running around in there with live actors and sound effects. But one day on May 11, 1984, at 6:35 p.m., a fire outbreaked the building, bringing down the whole place. There were 13 people in there. 5 got out luckily, but sadly 8 did not make it. After they put out the flames, they at first thought everything was okay, but sadly they later on found 8 dead bodies on the ground. After this, the park closed and people looked into what caused the fire in the first place. One of the survivors says that some dumbass kid used a cigarette lighter throughout the maze, accidentally causing one of the props to go up in flames. It was not his fault though. I mean, it caused it, but hear me out. The park working dumbasses did not give a shit about keeping the place safe as possible. No smokers or water detections at all, nothing. After this, the rules made it where you must always have fire decongestions now on, so that's a good thing at least. To make sure there's no fires or anything like that. Thank God I made that rule, because fuck these people. Jesus Christ, things got more dark. Subscribe, I guess, and see ya.